Hey everybody, I am Surbhi and you are watching Key Differences. In this video, I am going to talk about the differences between recession and depression. So friends, what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Before understanding the meaning of recession and depression, first of all we will understand the basics. That is, what is economic cycle? Economic cycle implies the economy-wide ups and downs in the economic activity like savings, investment, income and employment over a certain period. There are several stages of economic cycle, namely expansion, peak, contraction, that is recession, and trough. Come, let's understand what is recession. A recession is a period of downward trend in the business cycle, often marked by a decline in production and employment, that is, economic activity. It signifies a decline in the real national output, meaning that economic growth is negative. In other words, it refers to the sustained period of negative growth in real GDP, that is, output. Here you must note that a prolonged recession in the economy will result in depression. Moving on to the factors causing recession. The first one is demand shock. A sudden and severe drop in the consumer and business spending, often triggered by financial crisis, a stock market crash, or other economic shocks, is called demand shock. Next is supply shock. Disruptions to the supply chain, such as natural disaster, war, or major trade disruptions, can lead to recession by causing significant decrease in the production and an increase in prices. Financial crisis. Financial crisis cover banking crisis, credit market collapses, or excessive debt levels when they result in credit squeeze or a reduction in the availability of capital for investment. The last one is government policies. Measures such as reduced government spending and increased taxes can negatively impact economic growth and can lead to recession. Depression is a major downswing, which is even more acute than the downward trend in business cycle. We could also say that a depression is an extremely severe recession in which the decline in GDP exceeds 10%. In depression, there are periods of falling output and a high rate of unemployment persist for a number of years. Further, the scale and duration of depression imply that there are negative outcomes that a number of countries throughout the world experience. Further, the key characteristics of an economic depression include prolonged and deep contraction. Depressions typically last for several years with a sustained and substantial decrease in economic output. High unemployment. Unemployment rates tend to be very high during depression, leading to widespread job loss and income reduction. Falling asset prices. The value of assets such as stocks, real estate, and commodities often decline significantly during a depression. Bank failures. Financial institutions may face a wave of bankruptcies, leading to a loss of confidence in the banking system. Reduced consumer spending. Consumers tend to cut back on their expenditures as they worry about their financial future. Decreased business investment. Businesses may postpone or cancel capital investments due to economic uncertainty. Government intervention. Government often implement various measures to combat the effect of a depression, such as monetary policy adjustments and financial sector interventions. Talking about the example, the Great Depression in the 1930s and the Long Depression in the late 19th century are the two classic examples of depression. Moving on to the difference between recession and depression, meaning a recession is a short downward trend in the economy's business cycle, whereas a depression is a sustained sharp decline in the economy's business cycle. Duration. A recession is a period of economic downfall that lasts for 6 months to a year. On the other hand, depression is a severe economic decline for a prolonged period that lasts for several years. For example, the Great Depression of 1930s lasted about a decade. Causes. Recession may be caused by various factors including financial crisis, high inflation, or a decline in consumer and business confidence. As against, the causes of depression include severe financial crisis, long-term structural imbalances, or a series of major economic shocks. Next, effect. While repression hits the income of the common man, which prompts them to decrease their spending, as a result of which businesses cut jobs and so overall investment is reduced. As against, depression is more destructive because such a crisis often weakens the recovery ability of the economy. Next, sign. A country enters recession when it reports negative GDP in 2 consecutive quarters. Oppositely, a country enters depression when the recession takes an acute form and remains for a prolonged period. Area affected. Recession is limited geographically, that is, in a single country. In contrast, depression affects almost all the countries of the world. Ends with. Recession ends with a period of recovery and growth, but depression takes years to recover from and has a very long lasting effect on the economy. Next, unemployment. Unemployment rates tend to rise during recession, but they do not reach extremely high levels, whereas unemployment rates can reach exceptionally high levels during depression, with a significant portion of the workforce being unemployed for an extended period. So friends, this brings me to the end of this lesson. I hope the concept of recession and depression is clear to you now. However, if you want to study the topic further in detail, you can visit our official website, that is keydifferences.com. Here you can find a detailed comparison of recession and depression along with their definitions. Links are also provided in the description box below. So friends, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please do give it a thumbs up and share it with other people. Also, if you are new to this channel and wanna get more such useful videos, consider subscribing the channel and also hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button so that you are notified every time whenever a new video is uploaded on this channel. And if you have any queries or feedback for me, feel free to leave in the comment section below. Until next time, this is me Surbhi signing off.